Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. This video is going to take you through a gentle chair yoga practice. So you will need a chair, preferably one that does not have arms, and make sure that you're on a surface where your chair won't slip on you, because we are going to come up and use the chair as support when we do some standing movements. So I want to make sure that you feel really stable. So if you're on a slick surface, get a yoga mat underneath you or get on some carpet or something. The other thing you could maybe gather, if you have it available, is a yoga block. We'll be doing a few things with the block, but you can always go without the block too if you want to. All right, so we are going to get started. Reminder, everything we do is optional. If you need to skip or modify something to keep yourself safe, feel free to do that. Make this practice your practice. We're going to start with a little bit of breathing, and I personally like using the block going across my back this way, and it just gives me a little bit of, I don't know, so a little way of opening up the front of my chest a little bit. So if that's helpful to you, you can do that. If you don't want to, that's fine too. And then make sure your feet are comfortable on the floor. If the chair is a little high for you, you might want to get a little lift underneath your feet so you don't feel like the backs of your legs are being cut into by the edge of your chair. All right, now that we're all set up, let's settle in. You can just loosely interlace your fingers, or you can let your hands rest lightly, palms up on the lap. And close your eyes if that feels comfortable. And we'll take a great big breath in through the nose and sigh the breath out. Let's do two more of those. Big inhale through the nose. Relax your breath out. Last one, inhale. And let it go. From there, let your breath flow gently, easily. You're not really trying to control it at this point. You're just letting it flow as you observe each inhale and each exhale. Sitting tall with relaxed shoulders. And then make your breath get a bit bigger as you inhale. Expand the rib cages to the sides. And as you exhale, let your exhales be really long, slow, and easy. So they're longer than your inhales. Give time for a comfortable pause in between the inhales and exhales. And really notice the stillness within those pauses. When you've completed this next exhale, move through one more sigh. Let your breath flow back into its natural breathing pattern. And then gently open the eyes. From there, if you are leaning on a block, you can set that down and then come forward on your seat so that you have some space behind you in the back of the chair. Sitting up really tall, we're going to focus on our sits bones, those those pokey bones that you notice when you're sitting on a really hard surface. And instead of doing a cat-cow, we're more rocking our torso. So you're gonna rock your torso front and back. So we're shifting to the front tips of those sits bones and the back tips of the sits bones. And ideally, we are trying to find center where you don't feel like you're pitched forward or back. Most of us probably have a tendency of going one direction versus the other. If you know that, that's just good information to have. If you don't, that's okay, because we want to focus on establishing a new habit of sitting directly on the tips of those sits bones. And then we're going to shift the weight side to side, kind of rocking from one side to the other on those sits bones. And the sits bones are considered to be the feet of your pelvis. So just like we want a good foundation on our feet, this is our foundation for when we're sitting. Okay, so, and a lot of times we will, without realizing it, carry a little more weight on one hip versus the other when we're sitting, especially men with wallets in their back pockets. That can really bring your sits bones into an uneven state, which will affect your low back. So rocking side to side, and then we're going to come back to your center. Now we're going to go all around the sits bones, big circle. And of course, you're going as big as you can go without going into any sort of pain point. When we move so far where we create pain, that will cause contraction in the body, and we're trying to release tension here. So you want to not go into anything that feels painful. Okay, reverse your circles so that our nervous system and our brain knows that, oh, everything's safe, everything's okay, and your nervous system can then relax and you can release muscle tension. All right, so we've gone all around both directions. Now we're going to find that plumb line. So you're not pitched forward or back. You're not leaning onto one side versus the other. You're right at the tips of the sits bones. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So you're not forcing them down, but you're rolling them back and then just letting them gently glide down. Push up through the crown of your head. So from your hips to the shoulders to the ears, you want one long line. And then we're going to return to this. This is our seated mountain pose, and I want you to try to return to this throughout your practice. All right, now we're going to start to move the spine a little bit more with our cat-cows. Inhale, slide your hands back and pull your shoulders back, and chest goes forward. Exhale, round the back as you slide your hands forward. Inhale, open through the chest. Exhale, round the back. Continue a few more of these. Inhale, arch. Exhale, round. Last time each direction. And then find your seated mountain pose again and give yourself another sigh. All right, as we release the arms down, turn your palms forward. So when we turn palms forward, that also opens up the chest. So let's roll the shoulders back, find our plumb line again, and then we're going to roll shoulders up, back, and around. Now, continue to roll the shoulders in this direction, but you're going to move one shoulder and then the other. And exaggerate this movement so much that you feel your rib cage move too. Not only does that help stretch out the muscles in between your ribs for respiration, but it also helps loosen up tension or holding that you might have in that mid-upper back area. Okay, and then on your next inhale, take a big shoulder shrug. And exhale, drop them down. One more time. Inhale, shrug up. Exhale, drop down. Breathe in, and as you exhale, drop your chin down to your chest. Give yourself a sigh right here. Now keep your chin on your chest as you glide the chin over to one of your collarbones. dropping the opposite shoulder down, and then glide it through center into your other collarbone, opposite shoulder drifts down. Good. Chin comes back down to center on your chest. Now, gently press your tongue up into the roof of the mouth. Relax your forehead, turn your gaze upward as you lift your chin up, and then gaze down as you bring your chin back down to your chest. So we're going to do that again a couple times. Gaze up, gaze down. So the gaze is going in the direction your head is moving. And we'll go one more, up and down. From there, roll your head, bringing your ear towards your right shoulder, forward, other shoulder. Keep going here. And this is another one where if you're starting to feel any sort of something doesn't feel right or it feels painful, see if you can continue with the motion, but just make it small enough that you don't feel any pain. And then the next time your head goes to your right shoulder, stop there, go into some head nods, and relax your jaw, space between your upper and lower teeth. Now keep your head to the side, but bring it to stillness and give yourself a sigh. And then roll your head forward and over to your left shoulder. Once you get there, go into those head nods again. Soft jaw. And then stop and sigh. And then bring your head forward, chin to your chest. Breathe in. On your exhale, bring your head upright. And then we're going to inhale, bring your arms up, palms up, and then exhale, palms down. So we're going to continue with this. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, floating the arms down. And as we do this, you're going to gradually make your arms go forward. Just one small increment at a time. So not only is this good for our arms, our chest, our shoulders, and our breath, but I also want you to be tuned into what you're feeling in your shoulders. Sometimes people have a hard time raising their arms all the way up. Sometimes it's just the angle at which you're raising your arms. So this is exploratory as well. Okay, now we're going to gradually go wide. So if you have a hard time raising your arms up, maybe if you change the angle at which you're moving the arms, you can find a position that's going to work for you. Okay, we're going to go up one more time. And this time with your right hand, grab your left wrist. Inhale, stretch that wrist up as high as it'll go. And then exhale, reach to the right side. Keep your left shoulder rolled open. And then come back up. And now left hand grabs your right wrist, pulls it up towards the sky, and then to the left. And then come on back. Now interlace your fingers, press your palms up, let your shoulders lift up into that shrug, and then drop your shoulders down. Take a breath in and out. Now turn your palms down to face your head, bend your elbows, and we'll take some circles. So first we're just gonna let your arms do the movement, keep your torso pretty still. And now you can go bigger and let your ribs move too. Same concept as when I was talking about the shoulder rolls and letting your ribs move too. Okay, now go still and circle the other way. And then let that get bigger so your torso is moving too. All right, from there, we're gonna cup one elbow with the opposite hand, give it a little tug. Now I know you might have to have your head forward to grab your elbow. Once you do that, bring your head as upright as you can go. And breathe in and out here. Good, let go, and then switch. Cup the elbow, little pull. Good. And release. Arms come up, and then we're going to open them out wide. Inhale, open through your chest, and then exhale, round over a great big beach ball. We'll do that again. Inhale, chest opens. Exhale, round forward. Inhale, open center. Now we're going to round to the right. And come back center, round left. Back to the middle, and to the right. Center, and to the left. Back to the middle. One more time, round forward in the middle. And then open the arms out, release the arms, roll shoulders up, back, and around. All right, we're gonna move into the legs a little bit. So first we're gonna either grab the shin or you can hold on to the back of the knee. You decide what feels better there. We're gonna bring the knee up and then go into your cat-cow. So you're gonna let your knee drop as your chest lifts and then exhale, round, knee to the forehead. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Two more. And reach up with the chest and curl in. Last time. Now, as you let your knee drop down, lift up tall through your chest. And then we're going to do some circles. So when I do these knee circles, I'm actually going to bring my hand to the back of the thigh. Try to let your leg be heavy so your arms are doing the work here. Okay, now go the opposite way. Good. And then we're going to bring the knee up into the chest, sitting up as tall as you can. Bring knee into your chest and take a great big sigh. All right, let's lower the knee down so your arms are lengthened out. Big inhale, forceful exhale to feel your core work. Now we're going to maybe let go, keeping the knee up. If you want a little more intensity, you're going to keep the knee pushing up as you push down on the knee with your hands. Woo, that'll get your core working as well as your thigh. All right, release that side down. If you need to do a little pat on the legs, go ahead and do that to release it. And then we're going to do our knee in and out with our cat-cow. So you're going to bring the knee up. Inhale, drop the knee down as you lift your heart. And then exhale, curl. Inhale, up. Exhale, curl. Two more. Last time. And then go ahead and come back up to neutral. If it's more comfortable, you can bring your hands to the back of the thigh and then go into your knee circles. All right, reverse. Sorry, my sits bones are sitting on a seam. Okay, now we're going to bring the knee up into your chest nice and tight. Big sigh. Oops, I forgot this. And then you're going to lengthen the legs out, or lengthen the arms out so your knee drops down. Big forceful exhale. Maybe let go, or maybe push down. And remember to breathe. It's tempting to hold your breath in these, but you're going to breathe. Okay, let's give that knee one last hug, and then relax it down and pat out the thigh. Great. Okay, now we're going to move into some rotations, internal, external rotations of your hips. So keep your right foot where it is and just open your left leg out just to make some space. You might need to come more towards the front of your chair. And then come onto the ball of your right foot. You can hold on to the sides of the chair or have your hands on your left leg. You're just going to move your knee in and out. So external, internal. You may find that you have one direction your hip prefers. That's pretty normal. So this gives you information if that's the case, but it's also helping even things out. If you did have one direction that's a lot harder, just by doing this action, it can help even things out. Okay. And then let's relax that side. Walk your left foot back in, heel toe your right foot out just a little wider to make space for your left leg to move. Come onto the ball of your left foot, open and close the knee. It's also a great way to warm your hips up. Good. All right, one more time. Okay, and then come on back. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of twisting. Now it's important that you're not going to twist by using your arms to pull you into your twist. When you do that, when you're really yanking yourself with your arms, path of least resistance is going to be the low back because the rib cage prevents that over twisting in the upper back. And you don't want to over twist in the low back because that's kind of our more vulnerable part of the spine. So we're going to inhale, reach arms up. And then as you exhale, left hand to the right knee, and you're going to drop the other hand back behind you. Sit super tall. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. So we're not using the arms at all. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist. And stretch up. And twist left. Okay, we're going to go back to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the right. Now, just not using your hands to go deeper in your twist, but you're just going to lift up taller. Breathe in, and then exhale. See if you can, without using the hands, just get a little deeper with your twist, looking over your right shoulder. Drop your chin down to the collarbone on your right shoulder, and then bring your chin up. Now stay in your twist. Turn your head to your left shoulder. Drop the chin down to the collarbone. Bring the chin up. Look back over your right shoulder. Breathe in and out. And then inhale, sweep back up through center. Exhale, twist left. Big inhale, stretch up tall. Exhale, see if you can go just a bit deeper. Drop your chin to your left collarbone. Bring the chin upright. Stay in the twist, but turn your head to the right shoulder. Chin to the collarbone. Head up, look back over the left shoulder. Big inhale. Exhale. Inhale back up through center. And then exhale, slowly release the arms down. Good. Roll the shoulders a few times. And then bring hands to your lap and take a great big sigh. All right, so we're gonna get our body moving a little bit more. So you can hold on to the hips or you can hold on to the sides of the chair, but we're gonna tap out and in, out, in. So we're gonna go a little faster here, get our heart rate moving as well as moving into the legs, getting our blood pumping. Also, we need muscle movement to move the lymphatic fluid. So we're doing all of that for the legs. Okay, now we're going to tap the heel, tap out, and you're going to opposite arm. So it's almost like whatever foot is tapping out, you're thinking of bringing the elbow towards that knee. Yeah. So these cross lateral movements, opposite arm and leg, good for our brain and good for our stride. We need to be able to do this little twist, opposite arm and leg, to have a balanced stride. Sometimes, okay, now we're going to do a toe tap instead of a heel tap. Toe tap. Notice how I'm doing a little twist here. You have to twist when you're walking. It's very subtle, but you are doing that. Sometimes as neurological things start to happen as we age, you might find that, or you'll see people not swinging their arms or just swinging one arm when they're walking. And the good thing is neuroplasticity. Okay, come back, center, take a sigh. Neuroplasticity, we can retrain ourselves to start using our arms. And we really need that for balance and fall prevention as when we're walking. Okay, and we'll just check in right here. Okay, Now, I want us to do, this is another neurological thing. We're going to bring the arms up to goal pose. And then you're going to tap left hand to right shoulder. And you're going to turn away from that tapping hand and come back center. And then tap with the other hand. So you're looking in the opposite direction from the shoulder that's being tapped. I'm going to say it lots of different ways. Sometimes it just takes a different cueing to get that motion. Looking away from the hand, away from the shoulder you're tapping. Slow it down if you need to. Let's go slower. This is also really good for our brain coordination. Okay, now we're going to tap opposite knee. Still looking away from that knee that you're tapping. And if you want, you can lift the knee up to meet the hand. So it's almost like you're doing a march. Exhale, exhale. Slow it down if you need to. This can be hard, so you might have to go slower. That's okay. Okay. Now that we've got that, we're going to make it even more challenging. So we're going to do shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee. We're going to be alternating, okay? So shoulder, looking away from the shoulder you're tapping, shoulder. Look away from the knee you're tapping, knee. Shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee. Again, shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee. One more time. Shoulder, shoulder, knee, knee. Good. Release the arms, roll the shoulders. Hopefully you were breathing, but if you were holding your breath, let's do another great big sigh. Good. Okay, we're going to move on to our wrists. So what I want you, and wrist and hands. So first I just want you to fan out your fingers as wide as they can go and then squeeze tight. Make a tight fist. Fan out, squeeze tight. A couple more of those. Out and squeeze, out and squeeze. Good. Now fan the fingers out and then cross your thumbs over to the base of your pinky and open. And cross, open, cross, open. One more time, cross, and open. Good. And now we're going to curl the fingers like you're making a claw. Curl the fingers in and then squeeze them in. Now reverse that. Open the palm and then uncurl. Curl and close. Open, uncurl. Curl, close, open, uncurl. Last one. Curl, close, open, uncurl. Good. Let's just shake it out. We're going to stretch the fingers themselves. So you can either have a long arm and you're going to pull the hand back, or you can have a bent arm where it's like you're holding a tray. Either way, you want your fingers fanned out and to stay fairly straight rather than curl in. So you want to keep them fairly straight. And then we're just going to go one finger at a time. Pull your pinky back. Everybody's fingers will have a different level of flexibility, and you might notice some big differences from one finger to the next. This finger always feels really tight for me. So you're going from the pinky to the ring finger, middle finger. Oh, good. And see, I started to bring my hand in, really push through the heel of the hand. And then index finger. And then we're going to turn palm down and then just bring your thumb in and down. Good. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. Do your cocktail tray or long arm, either way. You're going to pull the pinky back. And then go to the ring finger. Ah, this one feels tight on me, big time. And then middle finger. So we want to do each finger individually because of that reason. You want to really target. Sometimes if you have a tight one, a tight finger, other fingers can compensate for it. So if you do each finger individually, this gives you information. Turn your palm down and just kind of pull your thumb down. Okay, and then just shake out the fingers. Now bring your one hand to your heart. Let's start with left hand on heart, right hand on top, and then push your palms out. So now we're working into the whole hand, and then shoulders down and do a little driving with your arms. Good. Okay, bring your hands back to your chest and switch so the left hand is on top, arms lengthen out, and drive. Shoulders are down. Okay, now we're going to release. Now turn your left palm out, right palm to the left palm. Lengthen out the arms. You're going to kind of pull back, shoulders down, drive. Okay, bring the hands in. Now, right palm out, left palm on top, and lengthen. Drive again. Good. Okay, from there, we're going to make a tight, clasp hands tightly. Bring your elbows in so that you're not moving your elbows or your whole arm. It's just your wrists. So now you're going to do some infinity signs with your wrists. And this is always the hard part. Reverse your infinity sign. Takes a little more thought. Okay, now pull your hands apart. We're creating some space in the joint of the wrist itself. Shoulders down, little toggle of your elbows up and down. Okay, now we're going to focus a little bit on our thumb. Bring the elbows back into your sides, and you're going to fan the fingers out so your palms are facing in, thumbs are pointing up. And then tuck your thumbs in, wrap your fingers around your thumbs. Now, you want to keep your hands in this orientation rather than pivoting in the forearm so the palms will go up or the palms go down. So you want to keep palms facing each other, wrap fingers around thumbs, and then you're going to pull the thumbs straight down towards the floor without pivoting the forearm, and release. And pull down, release, pull down, release. We're going to pull down, hold that pull down, and then just gently move the hands side to side. All right, good. And then release and give the hands another little shake. Woo. Okay, we're going to open the feet a little bit wider. Take your left hand over to your right knee, and you're going to lean onto your right hand. So you want that hand to do work for you, that you're supporting yourself. We're working the fascial line from opposite shoulder to hip in our back. So we're going to take our left hand, we're just going to reach it down and pull it back. Again, important to find the range of motion that feels like you're getting some stretch out of it, but not so far that you feel pain. Shoulder pulls back. Now we're going to add kind of like you're starting a lawnmower. So you're going to reach down and then pull your elbow back. So we're working into our back muscles a little bit as we pull the elbow back. Down, pull, down, pull. Let's go one more. Down, and pull. Switching it up again, reach down, lead with your thumb, inhale up into a diagonal to the left, and then exhale, close the arm back down. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Two more, open, close, and this time open, and we'll hold that open, breathe in and out. And then reach the arm back down. Now roll the shoulder up, back, and down to bring you to upright. Let's take a sigh before we go to the other side. All right, so now we're going to lean on the left hand, right hand to the left knee. And we're just going to kind of do a little range of motion exploration. Reach down, pull back. Reach down, pull back. This side might feel different. That's okay. Just adjust so that you're treating each side uniquely. Okay, now we're going to add that lawnmower pull. Breathe in, pull the elbow back. Reach and pull. Reach, pull, reach, pull. One last pull, and then we'll add that diagonal slicing. So you're going to reach down, lead with your thumb. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. Inhale up and down. Two more, up, down. Last one, come up, hold this one, big breath in and out. And then bring the arm down, roll the shoulder up, back and down to come center, and take another sigh. All right, beautiful. Okay, so we're going to come into something called, I call it the sit and stand. I think it might be called the sit stand test. If you look it up in the CDC, it's a guideline to help us know kind of where we are in the aging process and how strong our legs are. This is an important skill to have as we age to stay independent so that we can get up and down out of chairs, couches, cars, toilets, all of those things. You don't have to use a block. I usually have my students use a block because it helps stabilize knees. I even find with myself when I'm coming up and down without the block, sometimes my knees do a little bit of this. So if you're feeling like you need that little bit of extra stability, or if your knees are a little compromised because you've had other things going on with them, you might find a block handy. I know not everybody is going to be able to go up and down depending on how your knees feel. So if that up and down thing isn't going to work for you, I would suggest you to come up and come into a little chair pose, like a yoga chair pose, and just work into that, weight into the heels, and you could even just do a little up and down right here. It's a little softer on the knees. If you are going to come up and out of your chair, you might initially need to use your hands to come up, or you might need to use some momentum to come up. But eventually, you're going to cut all of that out and just go straight up and straight down. So you're going to make sure that you actually touch the chair every time you lower down. You're going to count how many repetitions you can do in 30 seconds, and I'll keep track of the 30 seconds. I'll tell you when to stop and start. If you're really interested in the guidelines, I have another video that's just this test, and it has that chart in it, or you can just look it up on the CDC website. Okay, the idea though is to improve your personal time. All right, so get ready, set, and go. And stop. Take a great big breath in, sigh it out. Not only a great leg strengthener, but it also is a little bit of cardio, gets your heart going a little bit more. And now that you know what your score is, you can do this on your own to try to improve that number or to increase that number. All right, we're going to come all the way up to standing. Now, if you can't do any of this standing, you can modify and do some of this in the chair to the best of your abilities. Okay, so, but I do think if you're able to, it's important to come to the standing poses using your chair for stability, again, for our leg strength. So first, we're just going to do a little bouncing on our heels. You could do this seated, just lifting and lowering your heels. And you want that pounding in the heel. That's kind of simulating the pounding that we get when we walk, which again, good for moving the lymphatics, but also that little bit of pounding helps signal our body to maintain our bones. If you want, you can go a little bit more vigorous by almost like a little jump. You're going to keep your toes on the floor, but you have a little more pounding with that, or you could jump. Your choice. You decide just what feels right for you. Okay, we'll do one more. And then come on up. Take a sigh. Use the chair as much or as little as you need. Find your feet underneath your hips. You could just go like the tips of your fingers on the chair. And then we're going to lift up onto the toes. Drop toes down. Now lift your toes up, or drop heels down. Lift your toes up. Spread them out and drop them down. Go up to toes. Heels down, toes lift. Toes down, heels up. Heels down, toes up. Okay, so right now we're kind of isolating the toes, but then I'm going to have you come up to the toes and then rock back. So your whole foot lifts except for you're on your heel. Your hips will push back a little bit. Come up and go back. When we do that whole foot lift in this back position, we're engaging the front of the shin, and that is an important motion in our stride so that when we step forward, we're not dragging our toes. Okay, come up onto the toes now, and then we're going to try to stay here a little bit, pushing the mound of your big toe into the floor to stabilize your ankles. You might challenge yourself to try to let go of the chair a little bit, or you could let go altogether. If you want a little extra challenge, turn your head to one side and center your head, other side. Center the head. Release hands down, release heels down. Take another breath in and out. All right, from there, step your left foot forward, step your right foot back, and we're going to keep, instead of turning your toes out, I want you to keep the knee and the toes pointing straight forward towards your chair. And then front knee is bent, and we're going to push down through our back heel and lift it up and push down and lift up. So our calves, we're stretching the back of the heel into the calf as we lower our heel down. Calves, when they're super tight, they can contribute to foot issues as well as knee issues, plantar fasciitis, not being able to straighten your knee all the way. So we want our calves to be stretched as well as strong. All right, now we're going to push down through that back heel and just hold here, just a few extra breaths. Okay, now we're going to lift the back heel up again and then bend both knees. So instead of bending the front knee more and going forward with your knee, I want you to keep your front knee right over the ankle, bend the back knee to get lower with the body. Now we're going to tuck our tailbone and relax it and tuck. So we're stretching through the front of this hip flexor and release and tuck, release. One more time, tuck and release. Good. Lean forward again. Now we can turn the toes out a little bit. Heel comes down, front knee is bent, back leg is straight, and then I want you to engage the glutes of your back leg, your right leg. A lot of times we get something where our brain isn't really remembering how to fire our glutes. So sometimes it helps to have just a little tactile cueing by poking the glutes until you feel them fire up. And then bring your chest up. Right arm sweeps up. We're going to do a little functional movement here. So you're going to inhale, stretch that right arm up, and then exhale, pull the elbow down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, pull down and go up and pull down. Good. And then stretch back up. If it's comfortable for you and you feel steady, you can bring your left arm up too and breathe here. And then bring both hands back to the seat, the back of your chair. Straighten your front leg and push the ball of your front foot into the floor. And then keep your spine straight. Do a little forward bend. And then bend your front knee, chest comes up, step up. All right, we're going to do the other side. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see my legs better, but you don't need to do that. Okay, so we're going to start out left foot, steps back, toes and knee of your back foot point straight ahead. And your front knee is going to be bent, and then we're going to push down through the back heel and lift it up. And push down and lift it up. And the lymphatic system relies on muscle contraction to move that fluid. And the calves are considered, when we bend and straighten, considered to be the second heart. And they can help as they contract and release to move the lymphatics. Okay, and then we're going to push down through the back heel and just pause right there. Take a breath in and out. Okay, now we're going to lift that back heel up. Bring your chest up. You're going to keep that front knee bent, but the knee over the ankle as opposed to going towards the toes. And then bend your back knee more to drop your torso down. And now we're going to focus on the pelvis. You're going to tuck the tailbone and relax it. And tuck, relax, tuck, relax. One more time and tuck and relax. Good. Lean forward again. Now we're going to angle back toes out, heel comes down, back leg stays straight, front leg stays bent. And while we're here, let's get those left glutes firing. If you need to, you can poke them. This side, for whatever reason, I have a harder time isolating that engagement. You might notice you have one side that's a little more ready to fire than the other. And then we're going to bring the chest up, reach left arm up, and we're going to do that little flow. Inhale, stretch that arm up, and then exhale, pull the elbow down towards the hip. Inhale, stretch, exhale, pull. Two more, reach up, pull down, reach up, pull down. Good. And then we're going to reach up, maybe bring the other arm up if that feels steady enough for you. And then both hands down to the seat, to the chair. Straighten your front leg and push the ball of that foot down into the floor so you don't hyperextend your knee. And then you're just going to hinge forward, straight spine. Good. Bend the front knee and step up. Take a sigh. Okay, from there, I want you to come to stay at the back of your chair, and I'm going to go, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing, but we're going to do what I call the fall and catch. So this is just practicing, simulating where you lose your balance and you come into it. You're falling, and then you catch yourself and you right yourself. So that's it. And there are studies that show that most injuries from falls are from side falls. So we're going to do that. So you're going to step out like you've lost your balance, catch yourself, and push back in. We'll stay on that side. This is also going to raise your heart rate a little bit and really good for the strength of the catching leg to catch and push off. You can use the chair as much or as little as you need to. If you want to add a little extra challenge, you could do a little knee lift when you bring everything back to center. Okay, we'll do one more. Good. And then come back, take a sigh. And then we're going to go the other side. So fall, catch yourself, and right yourself. So the idea here is not only to build strength, but also build this muscle memory. So if you are in a position where you lose your balance and you have to catch yourself, it's automatic. You don't have to think about it. Your body just knows what to do. Okay, if you want, you can add that knee lift. Wah! All right, let's do one more. And then come back and sigh. All right, we're gonna work into a balance. So from here, come on to the right side of your chair. We're gonna work into tree pose. So the left foot is gonna be your standing leg. Hand is gonna be on the chair. And then your right foot, it could be ball of the foot on the floor, heel up, knee opened out. That might be your tree pose, or you might go up a little bit higher on the leg. Go up as high as you want. Just make sure you're not pushing your foot directly into the knee. You're going to be above or below your knee. Now notice what happens to your standing leg. A lot of times I see this. We kind of sink into that standing leg. So you want to push your foot strong into the floor and then get as tall as you can get. Think of yourself being at the doctor's office where you want to be measured at your full height. That's the kind of feeling you want. Gaze is out in front of the horizon. And then again, you could challenge yourself using the chair as little or as much as you need. Remember to breathe. Relax your neck and shoulders and soften your jaw. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to release. Try to release nice and soft. Coming back to both feet, take a sigh. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side. Same setup. So now it's going to be your right foot standing leg, left knee opens out. You can keep the foot real low, touching the floor. Go at the ankle, calf, or you could go up higher. Totally up to you. Push your standing foot strong into the floor. Grow as tall as you can grow. Sometimes people talk about how it's hard to keep their foot on their leg. Push your foot and your leg into each other with equal strength. That's helpful. And then you might challenge yourself by using your chair a little less. Remember to breathe. This side's always a little more challenging for me. You might notice that you have a side that's like that too. All right, when you're ready, go ahead, step down softly, take a sigh. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to come back to the chair. As you come to your chair, before you sit down, just make sure it's right behind you and then take a seat. From here, we're going to end up with hamstrings and a little hip stretch. If you want to, you can use your block. I'm going to turn my chair just a little bit. I think that angle is a little better to see what's going on. If you tend to have tight hamstrings, you don't need a block. If you want a little bit more stretch, a block can be helpful. But we'll lengthen out. Let's do left leg since I turn this way. Left leg is going to be long. Hands on your right leg. Make sure you're towards the front edge of your chair. Okay, now sit up tall. Do big breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to point the toes and hinge forward. Spine is going to stay straight. Inhale, come back up and flex. So we're just going to rock forward and back. We're sort of flossing our hamstrings, also flossing the sciatic nerve to some extent. And you want to keep your spine straight because when you round here, what tends to happen is we round in the low back, that more vulnerable part, and that will put a lot of external pressure on the discs. It's almost like jelly donuts shooting out to one side, and a lot of pressure on the inner part of your vertebrae. So you want spine to stay straight. It might mean you don't hinge forward as far, but that is a safer place for your back. to go forward less, but keep your spine straight. Okay, so now we're going to keep our toes pointing straight up, lift up really tall, and then go forward again. Noticing this is much more intense when you keep your toes in a flexed position. Check. If you're feeling just all of this in the back of the knee, bring a little bend into your knee so you can move that stretch up into the back of the thigh instead of the knee. And then we're going to turn the toe side to side. Good. Toes straight up. Take one more breath right here. And come up. Let's release that side and we'll go to the other side. I'm just going to shift so that, again, it's just a better angle for you to see what's going on. Now we're going to have the right leg long, hands on your left leg, sit up tall, flex your front foot. Big breath in, exhale, point the toes as you hinge forward. Inhale, come up. Check, are you leading with your chin? If so, tuck your chin and lengthen out the back of the neck. So your neck is in a neutral position. Good. Let's go one more like this, and then we'll come into that stretch with the toes stretched, foot flexed, come forward. If you need to, little bend in the knee so you're moving into your hammies instead of the back of the knee. Turn your toes side to side. Okay, and then toes straight up. Take another breath in and out. And come back up. All right. Now I mentioned we're going to go into the hips. I usually do both of these at the very end of class when we're a little more warm. So you're going to take your right knee, bring it up, cross the ankle over, open the knee out. Now, if this does not work for you for whatever reason, it doesn't feel good in your hip or your knee, you have options. You can cross the thigh all the way over. Sometimes that feels better. Or you could lengthen your bottom leg out a little bit and slide your foot down a little lower. You could even bring your foot onto a block like this. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention to what your body is telling you so that you're honoring it and not doing any damage. Okay, so we're going to sit up really tall. Same thing, we're going to keep our spine straight and just hinge from our hips. So we're going to go forward a bit. Well, you should be feeling that in your right glute, hip area, and come back. And you'll just rock a few times. Now, if this tends to be really intense for you, maybe this rocking is more than what you want. Maybe you just want to focus on that sitting up really tall. Okay. All right, the next time we come forward, you're going to hold right there, tuck your chin slightly, breathe. Now, if you get there and you feel like you want just a little extra intensity, you can take your bottom knee, so in this case it's your left knee, and you're going to move it a little to the left, and that's going to pull your right leg along with it to maybe increase that stretch in your right glutes. And then go ahead and come up, bring your knee up to your chest, uncross the leg, and sigh. All right, we're going to set that leg down and set up for the other side. Knee up, ankle cross, open the knee. This side might be different and you might need to set up different. Remember, you have those options, crossing thigh or just lengthening your bottom leg out so it lowers that knee, a little less intense, or you can slide your foot down a little lower or use a block. Okay, sit tall. If this is intense, you're going to stay here. Otherwise, do a little rocking, forward and back. So we're flossing, we're exploring our range of motion. Okay. And then the next time you go into that forward position, tuck your chin, pause right there, breathe. Feeling the more intensity on that left glute hip area. And then if you want just a little extra, move your right knee off to the right slightly, pulling the left leg with it. Good. And then go ahead and come up, knee to the chest. Take a big sigh. And then bring the foot down. From here, last little cat-cow. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, round back. And come forward. Round back, last time. Forward and back. And then find your plumb line. If you found leaning up against that block to be helpful, you can set that up. Sit up really tall, hands resting gently in your lap, shoulders down. Take a big breath in, sigh it out. Let your breath flow gently, easily. Eyes are closed if that's comfortable. And we're just giving our system, our body, a little time to rest, as well as integrate the benefits of your yoga practice today. And then take a breath into your belly and sigh it out. And then breathe in belly, low ribs. Sigh it out. Breathe in belly, ribs, upper chest, the biggest breath you can possibly take. And let it go. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, sweep arms all the way up. Hands come together. Exhale the hands down to your heart. Bow your head towards your heart center and send a little gratitude towards yourself for taking time out of your day for some self-care. And I thank you for the honor in getting to share it with you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.